Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Wednesday, and you are happily tuned in to the I'm Making It Happen radio show with exception yours, Nykole Tyson. And we are here on Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And on I'm Making It Happen, we discuss how we can make it happen in our minds, bodies, finances, business, and culture, despite the inevitable and not so pleasant challenges. And that is to ultimately allow us to shift our mindsets and realize that we have the power to improve and maneuver every and any situation. And today I'm always excited for the conversation. And today we have the pleasure of having the Community Impact Fund organizers in here. Well, sorry, not in here because they're not in the studio physically, but with us joining us today is Dr. Patricia Morris, and she is Executive Director of the Community Impact Fund. Along with her is Akem Durand, and he's a loan officer. And the conversation will be surrounding the Community Impact Fund Business Summit. It's the second annual Community Impact Fund Business Summit happening on St. Croix and St. Thomas, May 30th on St. Croix and June 6th on St. Thomas. But we'll get more information about that in a short minutes. But of course, I want to say good morning specifically to everyone in St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, the British Virgin Islands, and St. Kitts and Nevis, and anywhere you are in the Caribbean. Thanks so much for tuning in, as well as all those listening live on rebroadcasting.com from the East to West Coast. We appreciate you, and wherever you are in the world, thank you for tuning in, and good morning. And those watching live on Facebook, good morning to you. Please do like and share. You can tune in with us on Facebook. So this conversation is actually happening virtual. They are with us virtually. Both of them are out of the territory. All right, so good morning. So as I mentioned, today's conversation, as I mentioned, is all about business growth, empowerment, collaboration, and community impact. And we'll be discussing the upcoming Community Impact Fund Business Summit, which is an event designed to connect entrepreneurs, professionals, innovators, and aspiring business owners with valuable resources, information, and opportunities to grow and succeed. So whether you're a small business owner trying to level up, or someone with a dream sitting in your notebook waiting for its moment, or a professional looking to network and learn, this summit aims to create meaningful connections and inspire action. And you know what they say? Sometimes one conversation can change your entire business trajectory. And this is the place to be. All right. So it's kind of like when you're browsing in a store and then an opportunity appears, right? And you see something that you didn't even know you needed, or didn't even know you had a conversation, you heard it, and it just made an impact. And so that's what's going to be happening at the Community Impact Fund Business Summit. And we welcome Dr. Patricia Morris, Executive Director, and Akem Durand, Loan Officer. Welcome and good morning.
Great. Good morning, Nykole, and good morning to the listening audience. And as I had started to say, thank you for making it happen. We really appreciate it very much. I'm Dr. Pat Morris, and I'm the Executive Director of the Community Impact Fund. And we are here today to tell folks a little bit about our upcoming business summit. And yes, we are out of town right now, but we are Virgin Islanders, and I'll be back on island in time for Memorial Day holiday. I want to introduce you as well to Akem Durand. He could say a little bit about himself. He is a loan officer, and then we'll tell you all about the upcoming business summit and why you should attend.
Awesome. Thank you, Nykole, for having us. My name is Akem Durand. Like Dr. Morris said, I am a native Virgin Islander, so it's definitely great to be back on the island to share the knowledge, share all the information I've gathered over the years, and to help local business owners. And we're very excited about the summit. And like I said before, thanks again for having us.
Okay. Well, I love it. I saw a post that you did, Akem, when you shared the flyer online, and you said it's good to be able to kind of give back or impact your home. So are you newly returned home? Have you been here for a while, or?
No, I'm kind of back and forth. So I was born in Antigua. I always tell people I was born in Antigua. I was raised in Dominica, but I grew up in the Virgin Islands. So that's kind of who I am. I lived in the Virgin Islands from 8 to 18. Williams Light Housing Projects, Arthur Riches, Evelyn M. Williams, Complex High School. And I'm a military guy. I was in the Air Force for a few years, and I've been in banking for over 11 years in finance. I run my own brokerage firm in the US. So I come back and forth. I'm usually in St. Croix at least once or twice a month, and just kind of taking that knowledge I've learned and bringing it back to help small business owners on the island to grow, do business the right way.
Perfect. And I also want to say Dr. Pat Morris has recently returned. Well, she always was. I mean, you would never know she didn't really live here, but she was living in the States for some time, but always frequented the island. But now she is here. And so that's also good. For those that's listening abroad, wherever you are, there are opportunities to return home. You just have to seek it. And so we have people from home or from the Virgin Islands that are, definitely intricately involved in the business workplace and making a difference here. So
that's correct, Nykole. So I've been doing international development work, community development, economic development around the world for over 25 years. I've worked in 20 countries, in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, Latin America, Eastern Europe. And so it's really nice to be able to bring all of that knowledge and experience to the Virgin Islands. The Community Impact Fund was founded in 2021 by the RT Park, and was the RT Park was given $5 million from the Virgin Islands legislature for the Catalyst Fund to support local businesses. And last year in 2025, the Community Impact Fund received an additional $3.8 million, I believe it was, from a donor that allowed then the Community Impact Fund to actually hire an executive director, which is why I am here, and proof, if you say, that there are growing opportunities for Virgin Islanders who want to come home and give back. And so our board brought on myself and Akem, to really lead the Community Impact Fund in providing access to credit and access to business capacity development for local businesses, for entrepreneurs, vendors, micro businesses, small businesses, community organizations, and nonprofit organizations. And since we came on last September, to now, we have loaned over, I think it's about like 1.2 or is it $1.5 million in 13 loans, including the Crucian Christmas Festival microloans. We did 8 of those. We've also funded 2 nonprofits in the Virgin Islands. Support for the healthcare Foundation, and also support for the Children's Museum here on St. Croix. And we have a robust pipeline. We just started a farmers and fishers loan program as well, in partnership with the Agriculture Business Center. That's part of the Small Business Development Center at UVI. So we are really pushing forward in terms of providing capacity building through partners for local businesses, and also providing access to credit. And we want to highlight all of that in our upcoming business summit, which is on May 30th on St. Croix at the UVI Great Hall, and June 6th on St. Thomas at the UVI Innovation Center. And we are really excited about folks coming out. We have just secured a really exciting keynote speaker for lunch. And it's Mr. Steve Lowe, who is the founder and owner of Estate Shield, which is an online service that helps Virgin Islanders to be able to develop their wills and their trusts and their estate plans. And he will be talking all about, how you go from an idea to a successful business at the business summit coming up next week and the following week.
Great. Yes, I know Steve, and he's been doing really well with in educating people on estate planning. So that's going to be great. And I've seen him because he attended he was a presenter at one of the events that I promoted last year. So that's great. So tell us about what was the primary mission or goal behind this event when it was created? Because you said this is the second annual. So what was the mission behind it?
Yeah, we're really looking at being able to sort of introduce the local small business and local community organizations to the Community Impact Fund, and what we do and how we do it and what the opportunities are for local businesses. We also want to introduce the participants that come to the summit to our impact partners, right? And our impact partners are a whole set of different specialists that provide capacity building for local organizations that may apply for funding with the Community Impact Fund but are not yet loan ready. And then we provide through a capacity building grant, the opportunity for those businesses to get themselves loan ready. So they might have a business, they might be, functioning as a vendor, but they don't have a business license. They haven't established themselves, as, a business legally, and we would connect them with an attorney, right? Or they may not have a business plan in place. And, if you're really going to have a successful business, you need to put a plan in place. You need to do some market research. You need to talk about, look at what your projections would be for income and what your expenses are, that sort of thing. And, we partner with the, Small Business Development Center, to have, businesses go there, to help them develop their business plan, which is part of what you need to have, if you're going to get access to credit for your business. They may need a marketing plan, right? They may already have a business plan. They may already be registered, but they don't have a marketing plan, right? In terms of having a sense of, how they're going to go out there and sell their products or services. And what the cost is going to be, what the different opportunities and potential clients or customers look like, and how they would actually connect with them. So we would help them by providing, connecting them with marketing expert that would develop a marketing plan for them. And then that, those things would help them to be able to become loan ready. And Akem can talk quite a bit about, our different loan products and, what the process looks like for that, and, how we go about, connecting then, the capacity piece with the, access to credit piece.
Well, before we do that, I definitely wanted to just address or have you cover why right now. Why do you think the economic climate that we have, why is it the summit important for the community right now?
Yeah, I think it's important because we in my mind, we're at a crossroads, right, in terms of our economic development, and we are because of our special place and location, and history, we are more vulnerable to global shocks, and we're having a lot of global shocks these days, aren't we? In terms of, even from, if we go back, a few years, and at the Ukraine war, which had an impact on the global supply chain, to now, the war with Iran, and the opening, closing of the Straits of Hormuz, that is affecting oil prices in particular. We are a very food insecure territory, right? We depend on over 98% of our food is imported. So being able to support the development of local businesses, right, is going to help in adding to that bucket of self-sufficiency that we are hoping we will be able to build, over the next decade, right, for the Virgin Islands. So it's really important for us to be able to, support local businesses so that we become less reliant on, outside, goods and services, for our livelihoods. And the Community Impact Fund is here, to do our part in supporting that goal of building, a strong economic system, and for the Virgin Islands. It really is important for us to be able to, have that, a vibrant economy, so that we can be less reliant internationally, but at the same time, we can also take advantage of, global trade opportunities that are growing.
Okay, thank you for that. So let's talk to Akeem. Am I saying your name correctly? Is
Yes,
Akem or Akeem?
it's Akeem. It's Akeem.
Okay, great. So yeah, thanks for you being involved in this event.
Definitely.
And tell us about what are some of the misconceptions that people might have in regards to, like, getting a loan? Because sometimes when I talk to people, they're like, "Oh, there's no way to get a loan. They always get denied at the for this and that." So tell us, like, what is a misconception, and how do people get really prepared that there could be they can get accepted or approved?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's just the lack of like knowledge of understanding of the process. There's multiple factors that goes into like whether or not a person gets approved for a loan. So you typically look at the 5 C's of credit. So anyone that's going to apply for a loan should be mindful of the 5 C's that most banks are going to look at, right? They're going to look at your credit, your competency, cash flow, character, and collateral, right?
Can you say
So
that
those are
again?
so you're looking at competency, character, cash flow, collateral, and competency. So those are like pretty much the 5 C's, right? So your credit is obviously number one, right? As a business owner, you definitely want to make sure your credit's in good standing. That's the first thing a bar is going to look at. A lender is going to look at it in order to approve you for a loan. Number two is cash flow. So if you have an existing business, how is your business performing right now? And does that business have enough profit in order to qualify for the loan amount that you are applying for? So for example, your business is making 40,000, 50,000 in 2025. You're gonna look at the tax returns, right? Does a $50,000 profit qualify you for a $250,000 loan? Right. So that may not qualify you for a $250,000 loan. So it's important to apply for the right amount. Right. Is there collateral to secure the loan? Right. So do you have some kind of asset that can be used to protect pretty much the banks are in the business of risk, right? So they're taking a risk on this particular client, and they're betting that they're going to pretty much be repaid the loan that they've given to you, right? So the collateral is pretty much what secures the loan. Is there enough collateral, right? Is there competency? Does this individual have an understanding of their industry, like a strong understanding of the industry? So someone might be, maybe an admin in a particular job for 10 years, but then they want to open a particular business, but they don't have any experience in that business, right? Which further increases the risk to the lender, right? Then you've got character. Some individuals, one of the things the banks are looking at. So the client might tell you one thing on the phone, and then you pull their credit something else, or you gather additional information as something else. So even though everything in that profile might be great, but if the bank finds out something that you were not forthcoming about when you initially had the conversation, that might throw the whole deal off, because it's not the person's ability to repay the debt. It's, are they going to? Somebody might have the best credit, the best cash flow, but are they actually going to repay the debt? Now, what happens with a lot of lenders now in the state, a lot of the larger lenders that are doing SBA financing, SBA is pretty much the number one way of getting loans in the US, right? They hire business development officers that guide clients through the process, right? So that's kind of where we differ, right? We're going to sit there and going to ask the questions. We're going to learn about your business, find out where the pain points are. So an individual that goes to a bank to just kind of blindly approve, because it's a process, right? It's an entire industry, lending. If you don't have experience in that industry, you're not really going to know how to navigate that industry. We will make sure that we structure the loan the correct way. So, hey, you only got $50,000 in profit. Maybe we apply for a $25,000 loan, and we find out exactly where the pain points are in your business and inject the capital directly to that point, right? Maybe you're making money consistently, everything is structured correctly, you got all your entity documentation, your financials are in order, but you're just not bringing enough revenue, right? So we're seeing, okay, you might need some marketing dollars. Let's inject, $10,000, $15,000 into marketing, and let's see how that affects your revenue, because everything else is fine. The business is structured perfectly. You just have to get some more dollars in the door. So that's kind of what we do. We sit down, we learn about the business, we find out where the pain points are. We're kind of like a doctor. I would say we're kind of like a doctor for your business. So we sit down for like an hour and a half. I'm going to ask some very detailed, intimate questions about, some people don't want to share this information, but the more information I get, the better it is for me to be able to find out where those issues are and then inject the capital directly into those places, and not overburden you with a enormous loan, but just the right capital that your business can support, it can repay it. It's not going to strain your cash flow, but then it's going to have a positive effect on your business. A little bit long-winded, but
no, it's very informational. I learned out some things. Okay, so great. So it's going to be it's going to be one-on-one, that people is going to be able to sit down and speak with you personally about their situations and what's needed. What I like about it is that I never thought of it. It's like maybe people are getting denied because they're asking above what their, like you said, their revenues are showing, the indicating revenues are showing that they can qualify for. So those are the kind of things, the insights, right? They're not just getting denied because they're just getting denied.
Yeah.
Maybe too much.
And
to
your point too, it's like if an individual doesn't know that their business cannot support this loan amount, that in itself is a red flag, because they not have a good grasp on their financials, so that alone sometimes might just bother. Just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, I didn't to let it.
Oh no, so then that's even worse if they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know that they can't afford a $250,000 loan, so that's
and that's what anything that you said, because I don't think they're red flags. I think it's all educational, because we don't learn these things in school, and many don't come from a background of business. And so yes, if you have a background of business and your family is training you and teaching you and showing you these things, then they have an understanding. And if you're learning it in school, then but if you're just starting a business, it is all new. There's so many things to learn about the taxes, about this and about that. And so I feel like just having some understanding, somebody to like walk you through like that one-on-one to say, oh, okay, this is what I need to know, this is what I need to implement or do. I don't think it's really a red flag, it's just education, because we don't
Yeah,
all come from that background.
that's just how the banks are. That's how they look. That's why people get denied, and that's how the
Right,
banks are pretty much
exactly.
looking at. Yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So it's a
yeah.
red flag to them, but like coming to this summit, it's coming back to talking about the summit. This is why this is important, because you're going to learn some of the ways and things that's strategies that's going to help our businesses flourish, right? Or give us some more confidence in how we operate our businesses, or put in some procedures that we didn't really have, right? So I think that's great. So if you're just tuning in, we have the executives from the Community Impact Fund, Executive Director, and Dr. Patricia Morris. I'm always calling you Pat, so I'm trying to say your full name. And and then one officer, Akem Durand. They're talking about um, the Community Impact Fund Business Summit that's going to be happening May 30th on St. Croix at the Great Hall Room from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on St. Thomas is happening June 6th at the UVI Innovation Center, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. I believe there's going to be refreshments available. And so this is a very important summit to attend. I want to ask, oh, and you do have to register. So go to, what is the website? Hold on.
www.cifvi.org and click on Business Summit, and all of the information will come up and you can sign up. The summit is open to everyone and it's free, and we will have some breakfast refreshments. We will be serving lunch, and after the summit is ended at 5, we will then have a reception for people to do more networking, and we'll have munchies there as well.
Perfect. So there's been some summits, and there's actually one happening, another one happening. There's different things happening. What do you think sets this summit apart from the others?
Well, I know that there's a summit coming up this week, right? That is focusing on the $25 billion that the Virgin Islands has received for recovery, and bringing all of the different stakeholder government agencies and contracting firms and everything, for folks to come together, and so that local businesses that can take advantage of these upcoming opportunities will have an opportunity to network. That's very different than what we're doing. Our business summit is really targeting local entrepreneurs, local micro businesses, local small businesses, local community organizations, because those are who we fund, right? And the summit, the Community Impact Fund Summit, is going to be talking about the different programs that we have, both in terms of opportunities for capacity building, to build the capacity of your business to be able to be loan ready, and then what our loan products are. And we'll be talking about some of the things, like you were saying, Nykole, that people need to be able to have information on and learn about, right? Like, first of all, I should mention that we're going to have 2 tracks for our workshops. All right. We're going to have some concurrent workshops, and we're going to have workshops for individuals who have an idea, are just starting up, or are really small. And then we're going to have a different track for, a little bit more established, small businesses and local community organizations. But we're going to be focusing on things like we'll be talking about our different programs, but in addition to that, we'll have a session on taking authority of your credit. And we're very excited that one of our partners, Kyle Sextus from Credible Source, will be leading that workshop. So if that's an area where you need to do some work, he'll be able to talk about how you really take control of your credit, or if you don't understand what this credit is, or what your credit scores are, and those sort of things. He'll be talking about all those things in that workshop. We're also going to have a couple of workshops on marketing, one for, like I said, early organizations, and one for more established organizations that are going to talk about, like a $0 marketing strategy for the early, smaller organizations that may not have resources for that. And then, for the more established ones, we're going to be talking a bit about, marketing approaches and strategies and tactics for sustainable growth. We're also going to, our keynote speaker is also going to be doing a workshop on estate planning for businesses. So if that's something that you need to work on, that you would have an opportunity to participate in that. And we're going to be also having a roundtable that talks about, business formation, compliance, reporting, where we'll have our bank partner from Merchants Commercial Bank. We'll have our accounting partner from Green Horizon Accounting. We'll have our legal partner from the Johnson Law Firm, Attorney Johnson, that are all going to be talking about how you establish a business. And then one of the Community Impact Fund's microloan clients has written a book on it's called Built in Paradise, the complete guide to starting a business in the USVI, and Jennifer Avila, and she will also be on the round table. She's put a wonderful checklist together on all of the things that you have to do to establish a business in the Virgin Islands. So it's really going to be a very information packed filled summit. It will be hands-on. You'll have, depending on which workshop you go to, at least, a tool that can help you to begin to assess where you are. You will be able to sign up for one-on-one consultations with no other than Akem Durand. And let me tell you, if you go to a bank, you're trying to get money, they're not going to take the time, to sit down with you the way he will, to help you, begin, to develop a roadmap for this journey of economic development and growth that you want for your business. And that's because the Community Impact Fund is here for the Virgin Islands community. And I think the other day we were talking about, Banya businesses, and we are here to support Banya businesses, right? And make sure that you have, the information and the resources that you need to thrive. So we really encourage everyone to come out, to get to know us, to get to know our partners. Even if you just have an idea and you don't know where to go with it, then the best place to come is to the Community Impact Fund Business Summit, so that you can begin to develop a plan to bring into fruition this idea that you have.
Perfect. Two things. Okay. With all these different speakers, is it they're going to be like one speaker for all of these where we're all in the rooms listening, or is it going to be like breakout rooms that you have to go to get this information from the different individuals?
Yeah, so we have, a couple of, morning plenary, the lunch plenary, and then the rest of the morning time and the rest of the afternoon time, we're going to have different breakout sessions. So you will choose the one that is, most appropriate for the need that you have at the time.
Okay. So, but you will be able to get the overall information and then see if you want to get more in depth with a certain person.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what is really wonderful about the Community Impact Fund Business Summit, right? Because except for the keynote speaker, right? All of the workshop leaders are either community impact fund staff and community impact fund partners, all right? And so, these aren't just people, experts are going to come and give us some great ideas, and then, they're going to fly back out of the island and you never see or hear from them again. We are all working together to provide the capacity building and then the credit. So coming and getting a sense of, who is in the room and who is doing what, is going to help local businesses. And then you have the opportunity to sign up, for follow-up consultations, with the Community Impact Fund. And, we can then, connect you with our partners, or you can connect directly with our partners as well. They'll all be there and you'll be able to connect with them.
Perfect. I see people are saying they're signing up right now. We'll repeat the website again. If you're just tuning in, we have the executives from the Community Impact Business Fund Summit, or Community Impact Fund Business Summit, and we're speaking about the summit happening on St. Croix on May 30th, and it's going to be at the Great Hall Room from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then on St. Thomas on June 6th from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can go to C as in cat I, F as in Frank, V as in Victor I.org to register, to learn more and to register. If you want to call back, feel free to. I think I dropped the call. All right. So again, the website is www.cifvi, like virginislands.org. All right. Let's see if we take this call. I'm not going to be able to have you guys here, but I will repeat the question. I don't know why. Okay, hold on. Rebroadcasting. Hello? I don't know why it's dropping. One of the other questions that I had, okay, you can call if you have a question, 340-7197-435 or 340-719-7436. One of the things that I wanted to know, like we're talking about the red flags, right? But I don't consider them red flags because it's just not being knowledgeable. Do you think it's also something that people can come and they have a business, they can reset, they can, learn the ways to, like I said, improve and incorporate things that they haven't been doing? Is this also something that they can learn that would be a good thing for them to come and be like?
Most definitely. I mean, the goal of the summit is to meet you where you are. So it's just we need to understand, where you are in your business and see you might just be doing one thing wrong that could be affecting your entire business. So it's just understanding exactly where you are. If you want to reset, just kind of restructure everything. Sometimes you might need to change based on your particular industry. You might have the wrong entity type altogether. You might be structuring your financing the wrong way. So it's just understanding where you are in your business and then finding that tool that can help you get across that threshold. Every business has like a plateau, right? And if they don't change this particular thing within their business, sometimes it's within yourself, so that's why there's business coaches that just focus on the entrepreneur and not actually the business, so it's just understanding where you are in your business, where you are within yourself. Your business is only going to grow as far as you are as an individual. Maybe you're not being strict enough, or maybe you're being too strict, or maybe you're not delegating enough, so it's just understanding where you are within your business. And all these different individuals that are part of this, summit are, very experienced. Most of my clients here in the US are multimillionaires that they call me and ask me for advice on different things, so I mean, to everybody on the summit, it's just very experienced individuals that can guide you in the right direction. And I think you brought up a statement earlier. It says, why is this important now? Sometimes it's not I couldn't plan this. It's not our timing or anybody's timing. It's just the timing that it's here now. And so everything came together at the right time. And I think because of COVID, I dealt with a lot of businesses during COVID. You had to change and you had to grow. Just the way of making money changed. Just a lot of people lost their jobs and stuff like that. And so your ability to be able to build something for yourself and generate income for yourself it's a necessity now. You can't, it's a need, so just because of the economic times that we're in. So like I said, we'll meet you where you are, and everybody on the panel has that experience to get you where you need. And at the Community Impact Fund, we have very skilled staff that can kind of pinpoint those particular things and maybe send you to the right folks, or partners that can assist you in that area.
Okay, great. Thank you. Another question I have is talking about the structuring for like the credit and whatnot. Is there going to be someone there that's going to help with like structuring your business as a whole, like LLC or, those different incorporating and those different levels?
Exactly.
Is there going to be somebody there talking about the importance of how you structure your business?
Absolutely. Our major partner in that area is the Johnson Law Firm. And so Attorney Samaj Johnson, will be participating in the summit. And he's on the ground in St. Croix, but actually for the summit, he will be away, but he will be, on the panel via Zoom. And, and after the conference, of course, he'll be back on the island and he will be available, to meet, one-on-one, as necessary with, potential, with business owners.
Listen, if you're just tuning in, if you're just tuning in, again, we encourage you to attend the summit that's happening. Let's see, the Community Impact Fund Business Summit is happening on St. Croix, May 30th, and at the UVI Great Hall Room, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then on St. Thomas, June 6th, at the UVI Innovation Center from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's on a Saturday, right? And so
that's correct.
Have enough time to be there. Should be more people be able to attend. A lot of things that I go to, a lot of times you have to pay for this information. People don't understand that you have to pay a lot of times for what they're speaking on and getting access to these individuals. So definitely, and in the Virgin Islands, we have the opportunity many times of these events that are at no cost to the public to attend and get this information. So please do make sure you take the time, go on the website, register for the event so they know how many people are coming. They can make sure they accommodate the individuals appropriately. The website is www.cif as in Frank vi.org. Again, CIF as in Frank vi.org. And register. You can also learn more information about this event. We have a question here online that asked about students participating. I'm not sure if it's
yes, the summit is open to the public. We'd love to have students, we've been, talking to the business school at the university to get some student volunteers, to also, help us out, with the conference. So if you're a student and you want to volunteer and, get to know us a little bit more intimately, please get in touch with us at info at cifvi.org. I also wanted to follow up on what Nykole has said, that, this opportunity is completely free, to the public. And that's because of our sponsors. And so I just want to acknowledge them for a minute, if I may. The RT Park is, of course, who is our anchor partner, and actually our mother and our father, they're the ones that created the Community Impact Fund. The Department of Tourism, First Bank, Merchants Commercial Bank, the Small Business Development Center at UVI, and the Johnson law firm. And they are our partners, and they are sponsors of the business summit, and are part of the reason why this is being brought to the Virgin Islands public free of charge. And so we thank them very much for their support.
Yes, and we thank them very much for this information. I've learned some things already on this conversation. Let's see if I can take this call. Good afternoon. Yes. Go ahead. I'm dead on the air. What's your question? The streaming. Okay, go on my Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, and search for I'm Making It Happen. Okay? I'm not sure about what's happening with the website, but go on I'm Making It Happen on Facebook. Okay? Thanks. Okay, bye. All right, so this individual is having an issue with getting online to hear the show. But again, for those who's listening, you can let individuals know you can go on the Facebook page. We do a live every week. And then also this is going to be replayed on our YouTube as well, cutting out all the dead space. And it's going to be on our YouTube channel. And on our platforms, you can find us on I'm Making It Happen. All right. Or you just search for my name and you'll find the information. But yes, so again, we have the Community Impact Fund individuals here, Executive Director, Dr. Patricia Morris, and as well as Akem Durand, who is a loan officer coming in for this event. That's happening May 30th at the Great Hall Room at St. Croix, 8:30 to 5. And that's a Saturday. And then I think the following Saturday, it's going to be on June 6th on St. Thomas at the UVI Innovation Center, same time, 8:30 a.m. to 5. And they're going to have refreshments, actually lunch and refreshments at no cost. Sounds very interesting. I look forward to being there and learning some things and improving. It's always good to get information to improve. This, just like Akem said, you can only do as much in your business as you can only grow as much as you know. Yes. So knowledge is power. Make sure to attend. Go to www.cifvi.org and you'll learn more information about the summit there. All right. You're going to get information about credit, loan, how to, make sure you set yourself up to be able to approve for a loan. Also business structure. You're going to have attorneys there. You're going to have banks there, marketing there. So it's a holistic for the entrepreneurs and small businesses in the territory, as well as nonprofits. I did see that on the website, I believe, nonprofits as well. We all need to learn these things. It's still a business when you have a nonprofit. So make sure that you attend this event. Anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to mention?
I think that's basically it. We really want folks to come out. As I said, the Community Impact Fund, is here for the community and to promote economic growth for local businesses and local community organizations. We are this year in the process of applying to become a community development financial institution, which is a certification that is given by the U.S. Department of Treasury. We will be the first financial institution in the Virgin Islands to have that designation. We're really excited about that. Many people may know that, having a community development financial institution is one of the goals of the economic growth plan for the Virgin Islands. And so we're here, to meet that goal and to ensure that, as we say, right, local businesses, local entrepreneurs, local community organizations and nonprofit organizations, have the capacity and the credit that they need to thrive and to build out in a sustainable way the community here in the Virgin Islands. So, for me, it was an absolute joy to be able to come back home to lead in this endeavor. I think, Akeem and I and all of the rest of the team and our board of directors are on the same page about doing that. We believe that it is possible. We know that it's going to make all the difference in the lives of Virgin Islanders. And so we are here for the long haul to really promote that growth and development in our community. So come on out, join us. We will be live and direct on Saturday the 30th at the UVI Great Hall from 8:30 in the morning. And then on Saturday, June 6th at the UVI Innovation Center, where we will be talking all about building capital, capacity, and community with our annual business summit. So join us. You are welcome. Sign up at www.cifvi.org. That's www.cifvi.org.
Yes, well, I think you will definitely get a lot of people that will attend, and I look forward to being there. I appreciate the idea, the intent behind this. One question I had was about the development. Can you say that again? The development institute. What did you say was that you're going to be having or creating?
Oh, the Community Development Financial Institution. It is a designation that is given by the Department of Treasury, and there are, hundreds of community development financial institutions across the United States. I think we were in Puerto Rico last week, and we found out, I think that there's like 60 or so community development financial institutions in Puerto Rico. And depending on the institution, I mean, and they can do different things. They can be providing, business loans. They can be providing housing loans. They're different. Depending on what their focus is. But every few years, you have to be recertified by the Department of Treasury, the U.S. Department of Treasury, in order to have that designation. And that means that there are all kinds of requirements that you have to meet. And so we are pleased that from the assessment that we've done, that we're ready to apply. And as soon as the applications are open this year, we will be applying. And that's going to really open the doors for us to be able to receive additional loan funds from a number of different sources, so that we, and also more funding for capacity building, that we will then be able to provide to local entrepreneurs and local businesses here in the Virgin Islands.
Awesome. So it's kind of like you'll be able to operate like a bank or an entity that can provide loans to individuals for various needs.
Yeah, we'll be able to provide financial. Well, we already can provide financial services, but we will be able to be certified, through the U.S. government to be able to do that, which means that investors look for that when they're going to fund an organization, a financial institution, so that will open the door for us to be able to actually be able to apply, to qualify for additional resources, to expand our loan funds and our programs.
So I'm just trying to understand, and maybe we'll just have an off the show conversation. In just the significance, so it allows you to also be able to have funds from other areas more readily, or that you can qualify to have other entities provide funding?
Yeah, I mean, basically what it is that there is a whole set of criteria that you have to meet in
Mhm.
order to be able to be certified, right? And so by meeting that criteria, then investors say, okay, it's like when you have a golden stamp of approval, right? You know, like, the good housekeeping stamp of approval, right? There are a lot of products that have that, and people say, okay, I will buy that product because it has that stamp of approval, right? And so becoming a community development financial institution certified by the U.S. Department of Treasury, then investors will say, this is an institution, a financial institution that we can invest in because, they meet the criteria. They have the correct financials, they have the correct policies, those kinds of things.
And so basically, you can get more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Akeem?
Okay.
Yeah, just to add to that, like, so we are a nonprofit, right? So since Dr. Morris and I came on, we've done a lot of work in the Virgin Islands. We've done 17 loans. We funded the Virgin Islands Healthcare Foundation. We founded a Children's Museum on St. Croix. We've created the festival program for St. Croix, St. Thomas. We're working on St. John. We've funded Boots. So this designation gives us access to capital. So we can either get grants, we can actually get loans at lower rates that we can lend out to our clients. So our rates are actually extremely low. We're at 6 to 8%. Our terms are really great. This designation gives us the access to capital either through grants or through loans. And also just want to talk to the folks out there that are bringing the money in the door to organization, the government. This is the kind of work that we're doing in the Virgin Islands to help business owners, to help support the local economy, to put food on the table, not just for entrepreneurs, but for their employees, So we are doing the work, but we are a nonprofit and we do lend money. So, hey, there are folks out there in the government that want to help support us, to support the mission of the local economy on St. Croix. We're definitely open to that. And I want to say that all our borrowers right now we've built such a strong relationship with our borrowers that they are all paying on time. You'll be hard to find a bank here in the Virgin Islands or in the U.S. where you have 100% repayment. And that's kind of a testament to like the relationship that we're building with our clients. We're not just giving out loans; we're really building an ecosystem with our 17 borrowers to set them on the right track. We're not just giving them money, just to get interest income. If the interest income was important to us, we would charge more interest, right? And so we're definitely a mission-based organization, and we want to get all the help we can. So anybody that's out there that's listening, like if you want to support us, we would be happy, and we would definitely put that money to good use. So just want to put that out there.
Great. Well, thank you. And I'm glad to be able to share this information with the public and learn some things as well. I have a lot going on I'm thinking about. So definitely, this is the Community Impact Fund Business Summit happening May 30th on St. Croix, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's a Saturday. And then St. Thomas, June 6th at the UVI Innovation Center from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. There will be refreshments throughout the day. Go to www.ci, that's C as in cat, I, F as in Frank, VI, like virginislands.org to register and to learn more information. Again, the website is www.c as in cat, I, F as in Frank, VI, like virginislands.org to register and learn more. All right. This is a pleasure having you both on. Thank you for the information. We look forward to learning more at the event. And so this is Executive Director Patricia Morris of the Community Impact Fund, and then Akem Durand. He's a loan officer, both Virgin Islanders, and I love that we get the information, we come back and we bring it and improve. And one of the things that was thinking in my head was that we need to be able to be self-sufficient, right? And the many things. And like, this is what you're doing with this community impact fund is adding towards us being able to provide for our own in the territory. and give the right information to help us all elevate and progress. So thanks so much. Anything you want to say before we close?
Come
Thank
and
you.
join us. And thank you so very much, Nykole, for making it happen.
Thank you. And you guys are making it happen. So thank you so much for all that you're doing. We look forward to learning so much more at the event, again, happening on May 30th. That's a Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Great Hall Room. And then St. Thomas, June 6th at the UVI Innovation Center from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. again on Saturday. So go to www.cifvi.org for more information. You can also come back to my Facebook page. You'll see all the, you can listen to this again. Go on our YouTube page. You'll see it. And I'm making it happen. Thank you so much for you both for being on our show today. And we look forward to learning more at the Community Impact Fund Business Summit happening May 30th and June 6th.
Thank
Great.
you.
See you there.
All right, thank you. And so, as I mentioned, as we've been talking about, today's discussion is a reminder that strong communities are built when people come together. They share their knowledge. We have Virgin Islanders have gone and got the information, now bringing it to us. They're creating opportunities, and that we are investing in one another is amazing. So the Community Impact Fund Summit is more than just an event. It's a platform for ideas, growth, collaboration, and future success for all. So I want to thank our guests again for joining us today and for the work that they're doing to empower businesses and strengthen our community. I want to thank those who's been listening today on the I'm Making It Happen show as well. Remember, your vision matters, your goals are possible, and with consistency, collaboration, and determination, we all can make it happen. We look forward to being back again next week. As I always say, have an amazing rest of the day and week. We'll be back again on next week, Wednesday, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If nobody hasn't told you today, you can make it happen. And if you don't see something happening, as you know, I always say, create it. Be the change. And until next time, keep thinking outside the box, coloring outside the lines. And remember, it's about you, me, we. So make it happen.